But isn't that fascinating? The same way we don't look at the source of our food, a lot of times we don't look at the source of our money. We don't critically analyze the source of your financial food. And I think that that hurts us. I think that in politics, it really hurts us. You know, I get accused all the time of just being about the most cynical bastard on earth when it comes to politics. You know, y'all know my background. I was a heavy, like, Mr. Democrat. You know, I remember when Bill Clinton ran, and I remember how excited I was about Bill Clinton becoming president because I was convinced that it was going to make everything better for Black people. And and I just became cynical after a while. You know, I got too close to the sun. I worked with the Obama administration. I saw how the sausage was made. I did not like. I sat next to Al Sharpton as the president of the United States came to New York City, and he invited me to come to that event. I was there. I was in the middle of all this, and I was like, I don't like any of this because I understand money. I understand that to run for president or to run for governor or to run for mayor even, you need insane amounts of money. You need a ridiculous amount of money. And so when I see a Black politician coming before Black people, Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter, and they're all like, "Yeah, bro, we gonna do this for the community, y'all. We out here eating fried chicken, and we gonna do some step shows and get out here and get jiggy with it with y'all." You know, I'm like, "Oh my God, this is such a game," because I know who you work for. I know that you couldn't be out there, you know, twerking in public to get votes if somebody wasn't writing $100 million check for you in the background. And so rather than me finding out what or believing whatever you're telling me your agenda is, I don't believe that that's your agenda because I believe that you are a vessel to pursue the agenda of the person who's writing the check. You have to respond to the person who's writing the check because if you don't do that, they are going to take away the check and then we find out that Pinocchio is not a real boy. That's when you find out that you ain't talking to the master of nothing, the leader of nothing. You're talking to a follower. You're talking to the puppet, but you're not going and addressing the puppet master. I don't want to talk to the puppet. I'm not a puppet. So I'm a I would I want to talk master to master. I master my fate. The words that come out of my mouth are my words. So I want to talk to somebody who can have an agenda and know and pursue that agenda and know what that agenda is. I don't want to talk to the middleman who's being manipulated by somebody who wrote a big check and said, "Hey, when you get in office, I need you to help me go drill these oil wells. I need you to change this environmental regulation. I need you to make sure I get this government contract." Right? I think that this is the thing. So I think at the end of the day, a lot of it is just sad for me because it's kind of like, ugh, like God, we don't even realize when we're actually being influenced by toxic money. So when you learn the agenda of the person who wrote the check, that's going to be the agenda, everybody. If you don't know it, just think about it in your. They say all politics is local. Well, I think all politics is super local. And what do I mean by that? Go out to dinner with four of your relatives, and if you got one rich relative who says they're gonna pay the bill, and that rich relative is really picky about what restaurant they want to eat at, you tell me which restaurant we're gonna pick. You got one cousin that pays the bill whenever y'all go out to eat, and he's really picky. He's like, I don't eat at burger joints. I don't want to go to a chicken place. I don't want fast food. You think you're gonna eat at a burger joint or a chicken place, or you gonna think you're gonna eat fast food that day? No, you're not. He'll have your ass up in a sushi restaurant or something. He'll have you he'll have you eating. You will eat wherever that cousin tells you to eat because not only does he have the money and the power, but he's also got a clear agenda. Now, periodically, every now and then, you get lucky. You get somebody that's conscientious and good enough to say, here's the money. Do what you want with it because I care about you. And in fact, actually, I'm not sure, but that lady, Mackenzie Bezos, you heard of Mackenzie Bezos? She was married to Jeff Bezos, who founded Amazon, and she's written some pretty big checks to HBCUs. I'm always skeptical when white people write big checks to black institutions because that means it's not really a black institution. It's a white institution with black people in it, just like prisons are and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean HBCUs are bad. Our child attends one, but one of the things that I saw that really gives me hope is that I heard that she wrote the check and said, "There's no agenda. You can do what you want with the check." Right?